So immediately after this was Paige taking to the mic, and briefly Absolution joined her before kind of dipping out of the ring. She admits that she is not able to compete anymore, and I mentioned that last night. It was particularly heartbreaking to see her say that she was injured and maybe next year. She is 25 years old, and this is something that we brought up on the podcast several times upon her return, was that we'd never seen this type of injury from a woman this age who was trying to work a full-time schedule. And it didn't take long for that full-time schedule to affect her. She cuts a great, I can't even call it a promo. She was just talking, and she thanked Daniel Bryan for giving her hope. She said that she spoke to Edge, who has an injury closer to hers, cervical spinal stenosis, and says that she talked to Edge about her career, and he let her know that there was life after this. She retires in New Orleans, where she made her WWE debut. I have a lot of respect for Paige. I don't know that I know of anybody in wrestling history that's had more ups and downs in 4 years than her. Debuted, won a title. You can't go anywhere but down from there. And from a creative perspective, she really didn't. That was her peak. However, that was right before this women's revolution. That was before all this. She got hurt. You had the drug tests. You had the stuff with Del Rio. You had the leaks. You had the hospitalization that didn't come out. Then you had this return, and it was great. And you had her taking responsibility for the things that she did wrong on that amazing Lillian Garcia interview that I thought was wrestling interview of the year. Wrestling or MMA interview of the year last year. This is sad. If WWE doesn't have something for her, they aren't trying. Manager, announcer, GM, scout. Lots of options.
Yeah, man. It's one of those things where we all knew months ago that she was done, but they didn't address it. So for her to just out of the blue, well, I expected her to just kind of just hang out for a while and never really address it. And then she comes out and says, oh, hey, yeah, by the way, 4 years ago tonight, I debuted on the main roster in this building. And, that's a huge deal.
For a while, in the early to mid-2000s, these neck injuries were almost commonplace. Rhino, Edge, Lita, Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle. You saw them happen, all the time. And some of them went on to have long careers. Rhino's still wrestling. Lita didn't last long. Benoit, we know what happened there. Edge eventually had to retire as a result. Now we're seeing almost a rash of neck injuries again. And, a lot of people will say, it's a style, it's a style, it's a style. Well, I'm not buying that. I think it can't help. But getting dropped on your head doesn't help.
No.
But there wasn't a lot of that out of Paige. She wasn't getting dropped on her head a lot. That wasn't the situation. But we've had her. We've had Jason Jordan. We've had Sting, which I think was more age than anything. And we've had Sheamus saying that he works with some spinal stenosis. Now, I can tell you, I deal with spinal stenosis on a daily basis. When I go train MMA, it's frightening to do front rolls. It's scary. Sheamus is in there working real hard. Yeah. And I mean getting brutalized in a manner that I've never seen somebody get brutalized after admitting that they have that. I hope that we don't have to see the same out of him, despite the fact that he's 15 years older, because what we saw Paige doing and saying tonight was heart-wrenching.
It was.
That was one of the saddest that I've seen.
It truly was. I mean, especially because in front of that crowd who was so supportive and they were chanting for "Thank you, Paige. This is your house." All this stuff, it really got to me. This person thought she would be doing this for so much longer than she was able to. And even in that 4 years, she was out for a year, right? Out of the 4 years. So, it's just, and I said it when she got injured and we heard she was going to go out. She'd be a great manager. I mean, she really would, or commentator or something. But she knows the business.
Yeah.
And I think she's a good talker. There's a lot of stuff that you could do with this, but the way she said it, it felt like she was stepping away from the business. Like it.
Do you think that she'll be the type of person who wants to wrestle outside of WWE? Because here's the thing. When Daniel Bryan wanted to do it, it was because of a brain issue that a bunch of doctors were saying that he didn't have. And as it turns out, 3 years of his career was wasted because one doctor said no while all the others said yes. For her, it's different. It's different. Tyson Kidd, he accepted reality. He's producing. It was said straight up, if he hadn't done a lot of neck bridges when he was younger, he might have died. Yeah. It was the Christopher Reeve injury is what it was called.
Yeah.
I don't want Paige to slip walking down the street and that be it. Because, unfortunately, sometimes with spinal stenosis, that can happen. With Tyson Kidd's extreme case, it can. However, if you're in the ring bumping, taking superplexes and stuff, that's dangerous, my man.
Oh, yeah. No, this is – I don't – because we knew that Daniel Bryan had all these people who was telling him he was okay to go, it all depended on whether or not you believed all those people or the WWE's doctor. Now, whatever. In this case, I feel like nobody's telling Paige, yeah, you're fine.
Exactly.
Totally go out there and get kicked in the head, dropped off the apron. It'll be fine. No one's telling her that. So please, Paige, do not do that. And please, other feds all over the world, don't let her.
Yeah.